Você está certo! Vou criar uma notícia completa que unifique todas as 3 notícias com 10.000, 11.000 caracteres. Deixe-me refazer. Notícia 1. Foco. Dalton Reisner Purple People. Buckle up because what I'm about to tell you will send shockwaves through the entire NFL landscape. We're standing at the crossroads of destiny, and the decisions being made right now in the front office will determine whether we're hoisting the Lombardi Trophy or watching from our couches come February. This isn't just about one player, one position, or one season. This is about the very soul of what it means to be a Minnesota Viking in 2025. You want to know what keeps me up at night? It's the realization that we're witnessing the most crucial summer in franchise history, where every single move carries the weight of championship dreams and the nightmares of what could have been. There's a veteran warrior still searching for his home, a disastrous draft class that's haunting our depth chart, and a stolen contingency plan that's about to blow up in someone's face. The pieces are moving on the chessboard, and only the smartest organizations will survive what's coming. But before we dive into this emotional hurricane, I need you to smash that like button right now, because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about this franchise. Subscribe to this channel because this story has more twists and turns than a Hollywood thriller, and you don't want to miss a single moment of what's about to unfold. The clock is ticking louder than a time bomb, and training camp is breathing down our necks like a hungry predator ready to expose every weakness, every miscalculation, every moment of hesitation that could cost us everything. There's a mathematical reality that's about to collide with human emotion, and when that happens, the explosion will be felt from Minneapolis to Tampa Bay. Here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. We're dealing with a situation that involves not just one, but multiple storylines that are interconnected like a spider's web. Every decision affects the next. Every move creates a ripple effect that will determine the fate of players, coaches, and an entire fan base that's been waiting decades for their moment of glory. Dalton Reisner, the name that's been floating in free agency purgatory while 32 NFL teams scratch their heads wondering how a player of his caliber remains unsigned. This isn't just any ordinary guard we're talking about, Purple People. This is a 6'12" pound, sliding 6'5", 312-pound warrior who finished last season as PFF's 22nd best guard with a 68.1 grade, dominating in pass protection with a jaw-dropping 76.1 grade that would make any quarterback feel invincible in the pocket. Think about the insanity of this situation. 32 teams, 64 starting guard positions, and somehow this battle-tested veteran is still available. It's like finding a Rolex in a thrift store, except this Rolex has been proven to work under the brightest lights and highest pressure situations the NFL can offer. The Vikings know his value because they've lived it, breathed it, and witnessed it firsthand during his time in purple and gold. But here's what really ignites my passion. Reisner's social media still proudly displays him in a Vikings jersey. That's not just a random photo choice. That's a statement, a declaration of where his heart belongs. When former NFL head coach John Gruden is out there personally promoting this guy, when there's senior bowl footage showcasing his dominance, when everything points to a player who's been criminally undervalued by the market, you know we're dealing with something extraordinary. The financial story is equally compelling and frustrating. We're talking about a player who commanded just $2. $625 million in 2023 and $2.41 million in 2024. For a starting caliber guard who can seamlessly transition from left to right, who brings relentless energy that doesn't stop until the final whistle, that's not just value, that's theft in the best possible way. But here's the kicker. With Minnesota's investment in Donovan Jackson at left guard and Will Freeze at right guard, a starting position seems unlikely. Yet while Reisner searches for his next home, the Vikings are facing their own personnel crisis that's about to explode into full view. The 2022 draft class. Oh man, where do I even begin with this disaster? General Manager Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah's reputation is on the line and the body count keeps rising. Running back Ty Chandler and linebacker Brian Asamoah II are both reportedly on the chopping block, which would leave wide receiver Jalen Naylor as the lone survivor from a 10-player draft class that's becoming synonymous with failure. Think about that for a moment. 10 players drafted, and potentially only one remains standing. That's not just bad luck. That's a systematic breakdown of talent evaluation that could haunt this franchise for years. Chandler, a 5th-round pick, might fall victim to simple numbers game with Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and CJ Ham locked into the backfield. But Asamoah's potential release is the real gut punch. A 3rd-round pick with just 191 defensive snaps over 3 seasons. You don't draft special teams players in the 3rd round. You draft future starters, impact players, difference makers who can change the trajectory of your franchise. But wait, it gets even more complicated because while we're dealing with internal roster battles, we're also benefiting from other teams' misfortune. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are about to learn a harsh lesson about the importance of depth and contingency planning, and guess who's holding the cards they desperately need? Justin School, the offensive tackle who was supposed to be Tampa Bay's insurance policy, their safety net, their plan B when everything went wrong. But Minnesota swooped in during March free agency and stole him right out from under the Buccaneers' noses. Now, with all-pro left tackle Tristan Wirfs facing knee surgery and missing the start of the regular season, Tampa Bay is scrambling to find solutions while their former backup is comfortably settled in Minnesota. This isn't just about one player changing teams. This is about strategic thinking, about planning for the unexpected, about being 3 steps ahead while your competition is still figuring out step 1. Skule earned a solid 69.2 PFF grade in 2024 with Tampa Bay, playing 362 offensive snaps and proving he could handle the pressure of protecting an NFL quarterback's blindside. The beautiful irony is that School might end up starting for the Vikings if Christian Darrisaw isn't ready for Week 1 following his ACL recovery. So while Tampa Bay is stuck with Charlie Heck and his underwhelming 41.2 PFF grade from last season, Minnesota has a proven commodity waiting in the wings. That's not luck. That's chess-level strategic thinking that separates championship organizations from also-rans. But here's where all these storylines converge into one explosive narrative. The Vikings are simultaneously dealing with the aftermath of draft failures, the opportunity to reclaim proven talent, and the strategic advantage of having stolen a key piece from a division rival. Every decision made this summer will reverberate through the season and beyond. The pressure is mounting, the stakes are rising, and training camp will soon separate the pretenders from the contenders. Will Reisner find his way back to Minnesota? Can the Vikings overcome their draft class disasters? Will the stolen contingency plan pay dividends when the games matter most? One thing is certain, this is just the beginning of a story that will define the 2025 season and potentially the next decade of Vikings football. The chess pieces are moving, the battle lines are drawn, and only the smartest, most prepared organizations will survive what's coming. Comment below and let me know what you think about these interconnected storylines, and don't forget to subscribe because this saga is far from over.